Hey guys, it's Andy here from CoachTaters.com. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about macronutrients and how many you should be eating to really optimize your nutrition so you can perform, lose weight, or gain weight, all while building and maintaining muscle. Now, when it comes to gaining and losing weight, the biggest influential factor is calories in versus calories out. In order for you to lose weight, you need to be burning more calories than you're taking in. And in order to gain weight, you need to be burning fewer calories than you are taking in. So with that said, last week's video, we covered how to calculate your calories. So if you haven't seen that, I suggest going back to that video, which I link in the description below. Calculate your calories, determine your goal, and then reverse engineer our calories to figure out how many macronutrients we need to be eating on a daily basis. Getting your macronutrients right will really help you gain and maintain muscle mass while still performing really well in the gym, whether you're in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus. So in this video, we're going to figure out how many macros we need to eat on a daily basis. So how are we going to reverse engineer from our calories to calculate our macronutrients? Well, that's very simple, because the three main macronutrients that we're going to be talking about today, the protein, carbohydrates, and fats, all have a caloric value per gram of that macronutrient. Protein and carbohydrate have 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. So with that knowledge, we can take our calorie goal that we estimated in the previous video, and we can reverse engineer and we can figure out how many macros we need to eat that's going to fit with that calorie budget, that is going to really help optimize our nutrition to make the most significant gains. Okay, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you know this is the second time recording this video, as the first time the whole video was like this. And I didn't know until I went to edit, so here I am doing this video again. So hopefully it's better the second time through. Okay, so we're going to start with the 2 macronutrients that the body needs to have in order to function properly. Now, there are minimum amounts that your body requires, so we're going to start with calculating those first. So first off, we have protein. Your whole body's made up of protein, and it's very important for you to get protein to build and maintain muscle mass, especially while in a calorie deficit. It's also very satiating. So if you eat a higher protein diet, then you are going to generally feel more satiated. On top of that, protein takes more calories just to digest it than other macronutrients as well. So the more protein you eat, the more you are going to burn digesting and distributing those nutrients to your body. Now, with that said, there is an upper limit as well, so there's no point in going over a certain amount of protein, because you need to save room for the rest of the macronutrients but still fit within your calories. Okay, so in terms of health, you want to be getting a minimum of 0.35 grams per pound of body weight. So if you are someone that weighs, just to make math easy for myself here, 100 pounds, you need to eat 35 grams of protein at least per day, which is very, very doable. If you are really trying to optimize your nutrition, then you're going to want to aim for a higher protein intake. It's going to make you feel satiated, and it's going to make you build and maintain muscle a lot easier. So I'm recommending anything from between 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of your body weight. So if you're 100 pound, then you need to be eating 80 grams to 120 grams of protein per day. Now, protein's a very difficult macronutrient to get the intake right. So if you aim for 0.8 at the lower end, and that's still quite a hard target for you to hit, then reduce that, but you want to still aim towards getting that target. For most of my clients, I aim for 1 gram per pound of body weight. Makes things very easy. So for someone that weighs 185 pounds, you're going to eat 185 grams of protein per day. The next we come on to is fats, another important macronutrient that your body needs in order to function properly. The minimum recommended fat intake per day is 0.3 grams per pound of your body weight. So again, if you're 100 pounds, you should be eating 30 grams of fat per day. In order to optimize things, as long as you're getting more than the minimum, you should be fine. You don't want to go too high on fats, otherwise you're going to take away from the last macronutrient, which is carbohydrate. So you want to save some room for carbohydrates. So I recommend taking anything from 20 to 35% of your total calories from fat intake. So you would just take your total calories and then you would times it by 0.2 to 0.35 or 20 to 30%, whichever you decide. If you like high fat intake, opt for the higher end. If you like a lower fat intake, you can opt for the lower end. Now, when it comes to this is quite a broad range of 20 to 35%. It really comes down to preference. So if you are someone that does like to have a higher fat diet, you can opt for the higher end. If you're someone that likes to have a lower fat diet, you can go with the lower end. Please note that as long as you are above this number, you're going to be fine in terms of your health. So if 20% puts you down below that number, 0.3 grams per pound, so let's say you weigh 100 pounds and your target is to do 20% fat, but that means you're going to get 0.2 grams per pound of body weight or only 20 grams per day, then you know that you need to push that fat up a little bit to make sure you're not at risk of being deficient in that macronutrient. Very important for fuel and recovery from hard training sessions. Carbohydrates is the last macronutrient that we're going to calculate, and this is because carbohydrates aren't physically needed, although it is your body's preferred source of energy. Now, carbohydrates are completely fine to eat, and they're going to provide your body with a huge amount of fuel for training and recovery. I highly recommend you save some room for these. So the way we calculate this is once we've got our protein and we've got our fat intake, we now just take those numbers away from our calorie target and we can find out how many calories are left and devote those calories to carbohydrates. Okay, I'm going to take you through an example of how to calculate the remaining calories that you're going to distribute towards carbohydrate. So in this example, we're going to use a 200-pound person that has calculated that in order to maintain their body weight, they need to consume 2,500 calories per day. They want to lose a pound a week. They're going to aim for a 500 calorie deficit, which puts them around 2,000 calories per day. Now, this 200-pound person wants to aim for 1 gram per pound of body weight for their protein intake. So that's very simple. We take 200 grams, we times it by 4 calories, because there's 4 calories per gram in protein, which gives us 800 calories, which are going towards protein. We then take our total calorie intake, which is 2,000. We times it by 0.25%, because this person wants to eat 25% of their total calories going towards fat intake. So that gives us 500 grams. If we divide that by 9, which says 9 calories per gram of fat, will give us 56 grams. That's the fat intake. Whatever's remaining now, we're going to distribute towards carbohydrates. So we take 2,000 minus the sum of the previous two, which is 1,300. That gives us 700 calories going towards carbohydrate. We divide that by 4, because there's 4 calories per gram in carbohydrate. That gives us 175 grams. So there you can see we have a total macronutrient profile for this individual, and my arm is starting to ache. Now, there's plenty of calculators out there that will help you do this, including my calculator, which you can get in the link in the description, all of which are going to be very helpful. I just wanted to give you a bit of a background, a bit of understanding of the process that I go through when I'm helping my clients when I decide what their calories and macros should be. Just remember that really you want to be having a balanced diet, incorporating all macronutrients in order for you to fuel your training properly and get great recovery, great muscle growth benefits, as well as reach your fat loss goals. I hope you found this video helpful. I just want to say to everyone that's subscribed so far, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I'm glad you're here. I'm really excited to be sharing more nutrition and training advice with you as time goes on. If you do have any questions, you can message me on my Instagram. Give me a follow, drop me a message, let me know you're watching, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you've got. Please give this video a like by giving me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.